Berkeley Harris. I'm a northern chap, but living now in Bristol for the last 16 years, and I belong to an organisation called Sandler, which is a global training company, and we train in sales, management and leadership. I also have two more strings to my bow, where I'll work with companies on strategic development, and I also get flown around the world doing keynote talks, which is great. I love that. So I'll work with, I've trained hundreds of salespeople and probably equal numbers of managers and leaders, and the concepts are easy. Go, yeah, got that, need to do it. But I've got people in the construction world, and there's some big global construction companies, and you can imagine what the managers of those construction firms look like. These guys are 8 foot tall and 4 foot wide. You know, they're scary looking people, but inside they're, I don't know if I have the confidence to do that. Is that the sort of thing you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah, happens a lot. So yeah, I guess you want to ask me a series of questions to drill down on some of those, don't you?
Yes, I've got a couple of questions written down.
How does mindset impact sales success? Well, it's big, as I just mentioned. There'll be people who are, I'm good at sales, because all they do is sell on enthusiasm, or I'll discount to sell, or I don't sell at all and my marketing team just brings me business and I just take the order. So that happens a lot, but if you want to be a true sales pro, we apply a model of what's called BAT. So the BAT is behaviours, attitudes and techniques. Now the behaviours is the things that we're in control of. So maybe it's a prospecting plan. How many meetings are upcoming? Not what I've had, how many meetings are upcoming? What can I do better? How many calls can I put into my existing accounts to expand the business? That's an example of a behaviour. Techniques, crikey, we've got 200 techniques or more about how to say this, how to position that, how to bring money onto the table for conversations. But attitude, in my opinion, is about 80% of people's success. Attitude is our beliefs, our strong beliefs, and our mindset. So mindset in sales, I can give you all the skills and techniques you like, but if that's a nagging doubt in here, and it's often conceptual, technically I know what I should be saying, conceptually there's just something eating away and whispering in my ear, don't do it, don't go in at that price, because I probably can't afford it, even though we haven't even asked the question yet. So mindset is a big deal, in Berkeley personal opinion, 80% of somebody's success, whether you're a sales manager or leader. Would I like to share any personal experience of mindset? Yeah. So I've got something upcoming now, and a good friend told me this, and I don't understand that much about human psychology. But anxiety is a worry about things coming up. Okay, I guess you know more about this than me, Marina. And the depression is thinking back to what happened before. So if you like, I always say I don't suffer with anxiety, but in reality I probably do, or I've got the biggest talk of my life coming up. So in March this year, I'm getting flown out to Orlando to be a speaker at the Sandler Client Summit. There'll be 1,000 people in the room, about 2,000 people online, and Berkeley is morning one keynote speaker, the main stage. So like, wow. So if I go back to that BAT triangle, behaviours, attitude and techniques, those 3 points. My behaviours, I need to put the presentation together and rehearse that a minimum 6 times. That's within my control, and it's something I can do in advance. If I said it'll be fine on the day, and I tell you where I classically see that go wrong, is a best man speech at a wedding. Oh, well, I didn't really put anything together, it'll be fine on the day, and it all just falls apart, and people go, oh, disaster. So I can't let that happen. So that's within my control to do the behaviours. The technique element is I need to do an outline of what's happening. I've got different vulnerability techniques on the stage, so the audience think this guy's okay, he's not pitching himself as a duty expert, because I don't think people like that anymore. There'll be areas where you need to be the expert, but not, I'm good at this, and I'm good at that, and I've done this, and I've achieved this. Yeah, I think that's 1980s. But the attitude part will be, right, what can I do within my control to get my mindset in the right place? Those rehearsals will do that. So the actions that I take will influence a mindset. not the mindset influencing the action. So my actions are be prepared, be ready, and I'll rehearse the bits that can go wrong. Do I have a plan B? So there's one particular bit, I'm putting myself at risk here, which is worth the risk, calculated risk. I'm going to get about 6 to 8 people from the audience to join me on the stage who don't know they're going to come on the stage. So it's like, right, what can I do if nobody comes up? What happens there? So I've got to rehearse out. So that would be my personal experience.
So you're saying actions
Actions will influence the mindset.
influence the mindset.
Yeah. So just to expand on that a little bit.
Yes, please.
Okay, now over the years, a lot of sales have been done by cold calling on the telephone. There's a small place for that maybe somewhere. But I have to do warm calls on the telephone, which means on my LinkedIn account, there'll be documents where people can download them. There'll be a teaser campaign, the top 3 mistakes that leaders shouldn't make in business growth 2024. People are interested in that. When they download that, if they give me the right phone number, I just wish they would. Sometimes they don't. That's a confidence thing at their end, isn't it? They will be my calls. So it's not cold calls, it's like warm calls because they know of the brand, they may know of something I've said. But I don't look forward to those calls. I don't wake up in the morning and go, yippee, I've got to phone strangers today. That doesn't happen. But what I do, my mindset is, they probably won't be in, they probably don't want to take my call. The last thing they want is to talk to a stranger today. That's my mindset getting in the way. So if I just do the action, where let's do the first couple of calls, and then you're in the flow of it, now I'm in a good place. So it's the action that influences the mindset.
So getting ready, preparing your mindset for this action.
That's it. And then just taking a step and doing it, then you're there, aren't you? Then you're there. Okay, common sales challenges faced by sales professionals. Let me put this in the context of what I hear from a lot of sales managers, and I train sales managers to be coaches for their salespeople. And let's call this the list of excuses. Okay, where let's imagine this is you, Marina, and you're one of my sales team, and I'm having my once a month 45-minute coaching. And I say, Marina, how's it been going over the last month? Now I can spot within 3 or 4 minutes when about 10 different excuses come up. Haven't had the time, it's a difficult time of year, the marketplace is tight, this is going on the other side of the world, that's affecting us, our competition's better. That's a bit that gets in the way because we can't control any of those apart from haven't had time. I do like the time management course. Can I give you my time management course now? It will take about 4 seconds.
Yes.
Is that all right? How many hours in the day?
24.
Will that ever change?
No.
So we need to be more effective with time. End of time management course.
That's
People are chasing time. They haven't had time for this. Oh, I'm running out of time. Just plan ahead with your time. So top tip on that one, before the day closes out, spend 15 minutes setting your agendas for every meeting for the next day. Then when you wake up, you're ahead of the day already. There's one, and time chunk ahead of time. Block the time in and be disciplined with yourself. Some of the problems, the challenges that people have, they tend to surround all those excuses. Can I just have a different mindset and say, right, so my beliefs are this. Yeah, okay. Now then, it's been confirmed because of this. So now my judgments confirm my beliefs, yeah? So my actions are, well, I don't want to call our existing accounts this month. And then the results don't come in and it confirms your beliefs. So it's an ever self-fulfilling prophecy. So beliefs, judgments, actions, and results. But there's a good question to ask yourself. What if the opposite were true? What if I did box time out, time chunk for next week? Could that work? Okay. Now you've got to absorb that. You can't just flick a switch. There needs to be some transition through that. But then the judgments would be, whenever I have box time out in advance, yeah, that tends to be good. So my actions are, let's do that. The results start to get better and you confirm your own beliefs. False motivation doesn't work. And I had managers like this in the past when I was new to the sales and corporate world. Berkeley, You can do it, just get out there. And that motivation lasts about 4.5 seconds. And then you need it again. But that was their style at the time.
Yeah, so being disciplined.
Yeah, disciplined with yourself. But make the decision to be disciplined with yourself. That's something you're in control of.
Brilliant.
Okay, confidence in sales. Question I get asked a lot. The question comes in two ways. Do you need to be confident in sales? And that got mistaken for people who are in sales over the last 20, 30 years. If they're just enthusiastic and talk a lot, people think they're confident in sales. Quite often that's the opposite. I'm talking a lot at my buyers and my prospects because I don't want any questions this way, and I'm comfortable with what I know, so I'll just show up and throw up all the information I've got. So sometimes that shows a lack of confidence. The other confidence tends to be where people are overconfident, which confidence and cockiness are pretty close. So we go, oh, he's just an arrogant bugger, oh, this. So there's a fine line. So here's my Sandler version of an answer to confidence in sales. If you follow the behaviours, attitude, techniques approach, I've got the techniques, that's giving me confidence. I know what to say and when to say it, and really it headlines from an aerial view. If I've got a bunch of effective questions and I'm just asking those questions, I'm talking a lot less than the buyer, the prospect, the existing account. And that means I've got some confidence because I'm watching what's happening here. I just need to know what effective questions. So get those planned in advance, have your techniques done, and we nickname it talk tracks, which is great today because a pleasure to be spending time with you at OK Talk. And talk tracks are definitely not scripts. If you have one of those over the telephone, hi, how are you today? Oh, crikey, there's a script coming at me. A talk track, when we train people, here's roughly what we need to visit on the conversation, but you put your own style on it, your own words in there, and your own authenticity in there, then it's a whole lot better. You know, the sales doesn't have to be that pushy approach. It's I love the unethical approach. There's a great saying, it's unethical to sell somebody something they don't need. Let me add to that. It's unethical to sell somebody something they don't need. It's also unethical not to sell somebody something what they do need. So how many existing accounts have people got out there and they go, do you know what? We've got a solution to solve that challenge for them. Yeah, but they probably don't want to spend more money with us and they probably don't want it. And when you eventually pluck up the courage 2 years later and say, do you know we did that? They go, we've been struggling that for the last 2 years. Well, we should have spoke to them about it. It's entirely up to them if they want that service or solution or not. But it's for us to position it to see if it's right for them.
Yeah, so being brave enough.
Yeah, be brave for 5 seconds at a time. Just ask the question and then it leads you somewhere. You go, right, I didn't want to ask that. Maybe asking for referrals. I was going to ask, but I didn't feel right. Well, just start the conversation off. Marina, we've known each other for a good while now. Would it be okay to ask you for your help? And ideally you give me some kind of yes. Well, what I'm trying to do, the particular vertical market that you're in, I'm looking to expand business in that. Would it be okay if you was happy to introduce me to maybe 1 or 2 contacts? I've seen on LinkedIn you're connected with so-and-so, so-and-so. I saw the last networking is with them. I don't even know people from your last organisation. There's the 5-second ask. That gets you in the conversation, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a brilliant technique.
Yeah.
And I think many people struggle with this.
Helps your confidence, doesn't it? Just do that 5 seconds bit. And then, of course, there's a bunch of techniques. If it goes wrong, how can we nurture that back? Yeah, personal habits. Okay, now there's 2 here, and I don't do one of them, but I'm told there's some good success here. So this will be what I see from some of my clients and something that's made available in the modules that we train at Sandler. So the first one as personal habits is journaling. Now, for those who I know do journaling, and I don't know if I've got a conceptual block somewhere where Berkeley, why don't you journal? You go, do you know what? I've got something else that I do, which I'll talk about in a moment. But with journaling, at the start of the day, when I wake up, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's my identity at? And off the record, why is that not a 10? And it's like, good, but yes, I get it, where things in life knock people and all of that. So for me, that would be that I want to be a 10, but if my world is falling apart, disasters are going on all around me, my 10 drops all the way down to an 8. 8 is my baseline. So when you was kind enough to say earlier on at the start of this about your positivity, why would I not be positive and be out to the world? Life's good, isn't it? Every day we're presented with a new day. Let's relish that. Because I'm hoping it's many, many years away. I won't get the next day. So whilst it's presented to me, I'll take it. So I am an upbeat kind of guy. So that would be my identity as a 10. So people, when they journal, write about their identity. What am I good for? What am I grateful for? What's my gratitude? Now the other bit is a role. Okay, in my role today, and we have many roles in life. We have salesperson, we have manager, we have leader, we have father, we have mother, we have son, we have daughter. There's lots of roles in life. But if we were to focus on a work role, towards the end of the day, I can assess how I did today. Now I'm always looking for that 10, but invariably I'm scoring myself probably a 7 or an 8. Like, yeah, on that call, I probably could have prepared 5 minutes better before I did the call. That would have made that call go better. Lesson learned, improve from that. So that's the sort of headlines on journaling. I just do the scoring bit, I don't do the journaling. But here's something I really enjoy. And I won't tell you what it is, but let me just headline the audience listening to this. There's probably 3 groups of people that come out of this. There'll be people going, that's fantastic, that's what I'm missing in my life. I want to get stuck into that. And it's an easy concept, but I haven't said what it is yet. But the other people going, what a load of baloney. Kidding me? No, thank you. You're talking bonkers. No, that's a load of baloney. There'll be that group of people, and that's okay, I respect that. The strongest group is the third group. Go, do you know what? There might be something in that. Let me just evaluate that for myself, and then it comes out stronger. And the subject I'm talking about is building yourself a set of core values. Core values.
Yeah. Could you explain a bit more?
Yeah. What's the values that you live by personally? Yes, of course, they're going to stray into work and things like that. But what do you stand for each day? What is you? Because once you get you sorted out, that brings the confidence and the mindset and the elements to take those steps forward on everything I've mentioned so far. So core values, when I heard about this, I was kind of in that baloney group. Yeah, but wait a minute, I'm open-minded. Let's have a look. So I was probably in group 3 of might be something in that. Okay, and I heard some people's core values. And I went, yeah, there's some similar ones there. Okay, can I share mine with you now, Marina? Okay, it'll take about 2 minutes, is that okay? So I remember these by an acronym, so FFFHHM. Family, fun, financial freedom, make it happen. FFFHHM. Family, fun, financial freedom, okay? Help others, honesty, make it happen. Got to get my acronyms right, haven't I? So, what do I stand for? Well, family. The most important thing on the planet, it's got to be family, hasn't it? But, you know, that's quite important. Family, family, family. Let's get that right. What am I working for? What am I living for? Well, family. I know a lot of people don't think that, but I do. Family. Fun. You said as an upbeat person, I live my life on fun. I enjoy laughter. It's a great medicine. And apparently you can have too much fun sometimes. Who knew? Who knew? So fun is it. Financial freedom. I know a lot of people, and some of these are close friends, who are burdened by debt or chasing the neighbour where they've got a bigger house, a bigger car, we need that. I don't think that ever really brings any satisfaction to life. That sends people backwards, does it? So for me, I'll happily, you know, I don't want the stresses of money. I earn pretty well, but I'm not a zillionaire, far from it. But I'll happily live to that. And it's like, you know, there's a certain bit in my life where that's enough money at that particular point, not chasing more. That's what I mean by financial freedom. Honesty and help others. So the help others one, I do a lot of charity work with the Royal British Legion, which you know about. You've come along to events in the past. That's a great give back. I get nothing for that financially, of course I don't. But stepping out of my work, doing something charity, and I'll do 1 or 2 days a month for that. And it'll be an hour here, hour there, a day there. I come back to the workplace stronger. So I think that's better. Honesty. If you tell no lies, you never have to remember anything, right? And it's great, and sometimes you've got to put a bit of velvet around that honesty. A bit like, do you like my new haircut? oh, well, you don't. So I go, yeah, it's fine. There's ways of saying that, and then make it happen. How many people wish this could happen in the world, but it just doesn't happen? I want to win the lottery. Well, you've got to buy a ticket. There's to make it happen. If I'm going out with my family for an evening meal somewhere, can I stop at the restaurant on the way home before we go? So, okay, we've got a table of 4, 5, 6. Which table have you got in mind? That rubbish one in the corner. Do you know what? This is a real special occasion. Could we have that table there? Yeah, no problem. There's certain things that you can do to make it happen. So family, fun, financial freedom, help others, honesty, make it happen. If I have those core values, when we talk about confidence and mindset in sales, if they're stood behind me, that's a castle that's around me, why would I not make that phone call? Why would I not ask those stronger questions? Why would I not do this, ask this, expand accounts, ask for referrals? They all match my core values, so I'm okay with that. Just some people don't want to go at the other end. Barclay, we're fine as we are, thank you very much. No problem at all. I'm okay with that. Okay, here's a great mindset one. It's called SW4. And I think it's I'll say it, but I don't want it to sound like I'm dismissive of people who I talk to. So, setbacks in sales, rejection, all of that kind of thing. It happens, doesn't it? It really happens. Where I just know if I talk to 10 prospects, 10 people aren't going to say, oh my word, Barclay, this is just what we're looking for. So I'm already set up for the reality check in advance. Now when I do my 10 warm phone calls, when I do 10 of them, if I get 2 meaningful conversations, that's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to get in. I'm in the world of 80% rejection. Cracky. In the world of sales, some people have more rejection than that. They do all this marketing and they might get 99% rejection. So if we face that reality, well, there's a start where I just want everybody to love me and get my needs met and buy our product and service. Unrealistic. So SW4, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. So it's always that. So I don't want to throw that away. So I'm very friendly with prospects. I don't get emotionally attached to what they're saying, where it's a bit like, yeah, it's not for us. Yeah, take us off your call list. I didn't download a document. Yeah, why are you calling me? They're having a bad day, not me. So I could join in the emotions and go, well, you did download the document and I think you're an a-hole. I'm not going to do that, am I? That makes me join in the bad day. Yes. So what I'd rather do, go, do you know what? I'll happily take you off the call list. Have a good day. Perhaps our paths will cross in the future. And sometimes they go, yeah, how nice. Well, actually, do send me some marketing stuff and all of that. So I'm okay with it. I'm prepared that plenty of people won't want to do things with me. The ones that do, great, but it doesn't stop me talking and asking referrals and seeking new opportunities. Self-awareness in sales success. Remember I talked about the attitude part, the mindset bit. Well, communication is a huge part of that. Huge part of that. I talked earlier about the enthusiastic salesperson and all of this, where, right, you should be wearing the shiniest shoes, the slick tie, the slick haircut, the new suit. Right, that may have worked in the 80s, but now, as long as we make it all about our prospects and our existing clients, we're the least important people. Yes, there's something called equal business stature, where I need to sell my services and get the right price for them, but I need to ensure it's good value at the other end. But really, the self-awareness comes easier when I make it very client-centric approach. So when I go for a meeting, if we had an hour's meeting with somebody, they'll be talking 70% of the time, if not more, so I can make it all about them. Yes, I've got some basics. I don't want to turn up with dirty shoes and spinach in my teeth and all that sort of thing. But I want to make it about them, and there is an element, and I play to this element slightly when I get it right, where if I'm going to meet people, a company that's in jeans and polo shirts, should I turn up in jeans and polo shirts? When I go and meet companies, and there's a big law firm I do some work with, who are very slick on ties, so I'll pop a tie on that day. So there's an element of that, but I'm not completely matching them. There is a mirror matching. I'm doing an effort towards their world, but it's because of them, client-centric. Okay. Now this is big, this is strong, and I appreciate this fits right into your world as well, where a healthy work culture. I keep referring back to 1980s. Crikey, I wasn't in the sales world then. I'm not that old. But there'd be elements where the Alan Sugar style boss was banging their fist on the table, shouting and screaming at everybody, and everybody was paranoid. I think in the banking sector, the bank managers all was male. That was a rule apparently. They had their own toilet in the bank. No one could use the bank manager's toilet. That was just for the bank manager. And people didn't even look them in the eyes. They were just petrified and scared. That was a culture then, and okay, it worked to the extent of people stayed in a job, but they were just living in fear. Is my job safe? I don't know. I'm going to get shouted at tomorrow. Oh, I should ask for a pay rise. I don't even go to that conversation. So looking back, it's an unhealthy culture. So I think culture's a big one. So here's my suggestion. Get the culture right early. Now that we could do 2 hours just on getting the culture right, couldn't we? We could do that. But get the culture right. But it comes from the top. So we have a senior management team. They need to be setting the culture. Involve their team members in doing this. Not, right, from tomorrow, everybody needs to smile more. That's not going to work. Have steering groups in the work firm. Get their feedback. If we was to improve, don't necessarily say culture at this stage, but what would make this a better place to work? Okay, set that, and you can do top 3 areas. And it might be, right, we're focusing on people's individual needs. Welfare is massive now. So there might be, let's imagine there's a wife who's working in a job as a management role, and her husband picks up the children from school, but she needs to do it on Wednesday because her husband is doing something else. Okay, so she just needs to leave on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock. But too scared to ask. Individual welfare needs. Do you know what? If we give Sarah that time off from every Wednesday from 3 o'clock, she will be a lot better productivity because we've matched her needs. That's a cultural thing. Set incentives to match the culture of the organisation. If we're going to bonus people, let's make sure it's not aggressive bonus and they're just fighting to get the next deal on. Make sure it's a deal that matches the customer, matches the company, and matches the individual receiving it. So there's 3 steps to that. I do a lot of work with companies on incentives. Okay. And the other one, recruit to your culture. So there's an existing team, maybe there's a team of 5, we need a 6th person in there, or someone's been replaced. Well, let's get that team involved in the second stage of recruitment. Yeah, of course, there'll be people looking for this particular character type, but we can make sure we've got our teams involved in everything, not command from the top. It's, yes, there's leadership from the top, but it's a cascading leadership where everybody's involved in contributing to decision making, not necessarily making the decisions, but contributing to it. Culture is huge, huge, huge. And I just know when I work with an organisation where you see the culture's in a good place, everything just goes better, and their customers and clients benefit from that as well. So there's a huge bunch of wins on getting the culture right.
Is there anything you would like to share with the audience before we end?
Yes. I'd like to put you in the spotlight, Marina. I'm sorry to do this to you. Where over the years I've known you, it's not been that many years, what I like about your approach and what's triggered this is culture. Knowing what you do and what you put out there, you do that heart-led, first of all, to do the right things. So I think one of our core values may match on help others, and you can make a successful business from that. So I guess that's why you love what you do, and it's admirable to see that. So well done you.
Thank you.
Welcome.